What is up guys, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're covering some more r/am I the butthole. If you'd like to skip the initial waffle, timestamps are in the description and along the timeline below. But if you are new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe and maybe that notification bell too, as it really does help out our channel, but no pressure to do so, only if you enjoy the content of course. And a huge thank you to a new member who joined us on YouTube yesterday, Trix Blitz. Thank you so much for joining us. Your support is absolutely amazing, so thank you. And just for everyone for taking the time out of your days to be here and watch, it's just absolutely amazing, so thank you so much. And with that being said, let's get in to today's stories. Much love guys. And our first story comes from Impact Repulsive. Am I the arsehole for not wanting to help my classmate after she outed my husband? My husband Adam is transgender and takes testosterone. He orders it online to arrive at a pharmacy. I decided to go back to school and get my degree. I'm female 28 last year and there's a pharmacy on campus. So we agreed that he gets his meds shipped there and I'd pick them up for him from now on. Earlier this year, January/February sort of time, I picked up Adam's gel. My classmate Jess saw me leave with a medication bag and asked if I was okay. And I said it was for Adam. She asked if he was okay and I said he was. She asked me what I'd gotten him. I found this to be a little more than invasive, so I said it was private. After a few seconds she asked why I was getting testosterone, but she managed to read off the label on the bag. Edit, to be clear, she doesn't work there. She saw me leaving, then started walking with me to class. I couldn't think of an excuse, so I just told her the truth. My husband is trans, he's trying to be discreet about it, please don't tell anyone. She agreed and off she went. Within a few hours, everyone knew and I was receiving end of questions from several classmates about how my husband and I have sex and various other disgusting advances. They all said that Jess had told them. At the end of the day, Adam picked me up and people were ogling us, and he knew that they knew before I even said anything, and he was crushed. About 8 months later, present day, Jess then caught the illness I don't know if I'm allowed to name. She missed basically the whole first month of classes and will possibly miss future ones too. I make recordings of the lectures that I am willing to share with anyone who asks. She wants my recordings. She asked me for the recordings privately 6 separate times in the span of 3 days, and the first 5 times I said I'll let her know. The 6th was the final straw for me and I told her to piss off. Last night she posted in class chat saying, does anyone have recordings? OP told me to piss off when I asked her for hers. There are a few more exchanges and the conclusion is that I have the only recordings and I'm being a bitch for not sharing with Jess. I've muted the chat. My point of view is that after she outed Adam, I don't want to help her at all. Everyone else's point of view is that she needs my help. She's in extremely shitty circumstances and this would be the right thing to do. Plus her outing him had no repercussions beyond people in my class knowing, while me not helping her could lead to her failing the next round of assignments. Am I the arsehole for not helping her? You know, I was with you for the most part. I'm going to say not the arsehole, but at one point I changed it to an everyone sucks here, and that is when you told Jess about Adam being trans. You didn't need to do that. You did exactly what Jess has done. You outed Adam. You could have just turned around and said his medical stuff is just like none of your business at all and just left it at that. She didn't need to know any further. Obviously Jess is the bigger arsehole in this situation because she purposely went out to just tell everyone when why would she do that, you know? Only a shitty person would do that in the end. But you are an arsehole tool in this situation simply because of that. You could have just kept it private, but you let Jess know. Damn. But onto the whole recording assignment thing. Don't the lecturers get it recorded as well? Why is it down to the classmates to pass it around to each other? Is that normal? I don't know. I'm just asking a question there because I don't know personally myself. But I've already given my judgment on this one. So let's have a look at the comments below to see what they say. Welsh Reddit says, not the arsehole. The only problem I see here is that you're still on speaking terms with someone who violated you and your husband's privacy. OP replies to this saying that is a problem. I've been trying to avoid it and just generally not speak to her, so we're on bare minimum contact, which is the class-wide group chat and being in some of the same classes. Personally, I cannot wait until graduation so I don't have to deal with her again. D Yender says, everyone sucks here. Jess is clearly the arsehole for outing your husband and you're under no obligation to help her with her assignments. But you know who else outed your husband and broke his trust? You did. If he was trying to be discreet about it, the worst possible outcome is his wife telling a random classmate. You're the one that owes him the biggest duties of loyalty and confidentiality in his private affairs. You say you couldn't think of an excuse. Why give her the one in the first place? When she asked why you were getting him testosterone, why didn't you simply tell her it was prescribed for him, private medical information, and none of her business? And by the way, did you really believe that someone willing to pry directly into personal information would be discreet herself? Your husband's pain is largely your doing. And Dull Community says, everyone sucks here but your husband. She's the biggest asshole of all, but you outed your husband to her, rather than stick to telling her to mind your own business. You're absolutely right to refuse to help her, but I hope you made amends to him in the meantime, for breaking his trust and starting this mess in the first place. Now what do you guys think of this story? How should an OP have handled it? Should she just said it's private medical information? And should she have helped her with the assignment in the end? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 1. And our next story is called, Am I the arsehole for using my hot tub nude? Background, I live in a state where it's legal to be naked on your property, as long as you're not engaging in lewd activity. My husband and I recently got our first home. It's a decent sized property, 0.5 acres, and has 6 feet fences. We have a porch on the back that I decorated with lights, and we put in a hot tub. I put a projector screen across from it, blocking the view. We use the hot tub nude only late at night, all other times we have our suits. The neighbours to our left have huge plants to block the property line. Perfection. I went ahead and put similar plants on my back property line to block the view. Anyways, the neighbours behind us are kind of old and conservative. The woman came to my house today and basically screamed at me for being naked in the yard. She threatened to call the cops next time I did it, to which I informed her on the FL statute 800.03. I explained to her that all the precautions we took. Honestly, I'm surprised anyone can see anything. Our property is in the middle of the acre and there's tons of plants and trees. She's threatened to report me to HOA and the police if I continue. She's already confronted me about smoking marijuana, but I have a medical card, and ever since then she's been on my arse about everything. Am I the arse for refusing to stop using my hot tub on my porch in the nude? Edit to add, we have tinted screens on the porch, but maybe the projector lights up. Either way, it's still hard to see that far. I ordered dividers from Amazon anyways. You know, I don't know the laws of all different states and all that kind of thing. Not a clue. But we're going with OP here, who said that it's totally legal to do this on your property anyway. So hell no, you're not the arsehole for doing it. You've done everything you can. You put dividers up and you're basically blocking the view as much as possible. And you've ordered more too. So you're not the arsehole in this situation. You're doing your best to cover it up. You want to do what you want to do on your property, you go for it, you know. However, I will say, someone like that, a neighbour like that, there's a program in the UK they're called Nightmare Neighbours, and they sound just like this person. They will cause you issues. Whatever you do, they will always just try to bring up little things to cause you issues. So just 100% block her view from your property, because they're bastards. They will cause you grief. But let's have a look at the comments below to see what they say. Noz says, not the arsehole, you know the rules, and so do I. We're getting rickrolled on Am I the arsehole sub now? Great. Orphan Girl says, not the arsehole, it's your property. I'll be raising questions to how/why she's peeping on you and your husband. I'm going to throw away says, not the arsehole. You follow the law on your property. It's not like she streaked over the top in her hot tub. Neighbour sounds like a piece of work, to be honest. Ron fucking Swanson says, you're not the arsehole, but she's going to be a pain in the ass regardless of what you do. My advice, start looking for ways to block her view of your backyard. Yeah, it sucks to have to do it, but at least you won't be up your ass as much. Maybe look into some tall plants along the back fence line, or some kind of privacy shade for the area around the hot tub. That way, if other neighbours mention it because she's running her mouth, you can claim that you made your backyard extra private after she complained. And at this point, if she can still see you naked, then she must be actively trying to see you naked. Now, what do you guys think of this story? What would you do in that situation? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 2. And our next story is from Am I the Arsehole Too Sarcastic? Am I the arsehole for refusing to fulfill a promise I made to an autistic person? I'm 16 female and I have a neighbour, Ben, who is 16 male. He's an autistic person. He's high functioning but sometimes prone to severe meltdowns. Our mothers are friends, so we hang around a lot. We're friends and hang out a lot together, but I don't consider him close to me. It's because it's a pretty one-sided friendship. If you ask him a single question about me, he wouldn't be able to answer, but it's fun to play video games with. A few weeks ago when he was over, he said there was a girl he liked, Sarah. He said that he wanted to plan something incredible to ask her out. He was telling me some ideas and I was giving my opinions. Suddenly, he said he wanted my necklace to give to her. The necklace isn't something special or with great memory. It's silver and has a dolphin pendant, which I got on a vacation. but I've been wearing it for a long time. I scoffed and said, yeah right. He started telling other ideas and didn't mention that one again. The problem is that he sometimes is very bad at social cues and sarcasm. He genuinely thought that I had agreed to it, and since he never mentioned it again, I didn't realise it too. A few days later, he came to my house and asked for the necklace. I refused, trying to explain that I was just being sarcastic. He ended up having a great meltdown right in my living room, and I still refused. This became a big issue, and everyone thinks I should give him the necklace, as I technically agreed. My mum forced me to give the necklace to him, and ever since then, I've completely stopped talking to him and locked myself in my room whenever they come over. Yesterday, some of my friends were already over when they came over, and I refused to let him into my room. In the past, I have always made an effort to include him, but this time I didn't bother. My mum and his mum are again angry at me because I am his only friend, and they feel I'm hurting him and that I am jeopardising his mental health. Now I want to know whether I was the arsehole regarding the necklace debacle or not. Now I'm no expert on autism or anything like that, so please always call me out if I say something wrong. Always happy to be educated on this channel. But surely they need to be educating this guy as much as possible, because when he grows up, you know, when he's an adult, he's going to have to deal with situations just like this. He's going to have to deal with sarcasm in everyday to-day life, especially if you're in the UK, Jesus. And this will become an issue later on in life. So, you know, his parents are arseholes for not calling him out on this and saying, look, yes, it was just sarcasm, you know, so you can't have it. She was just being sarcastic. Because at the moment, he's just going to learn he should get everything he wants in life just by asking it. If people make a sarcastic remark to that, he's not going to take it seriously. But there's one comment below which I'm going to read out, which I think is pretty relevant, but it's a pretty lengthy one too. So Helen Damnation says, not the arsehole, and everyone is the arsehole here except you. I'm extremely disgusted by the behaviour of your mother and his mother. His mother is raising him to be an arsehole. It's her job to make sure that he learns from situations like this, that you communicated clearly and he misunderstood. Instead, she's training him to bully and steal, instead of to learn aspects of human communication that he hasn't yet. Your mother is siding with a bully mother, and the child is training to be an arsehole instead of her own unoffending child. I'm impressed at how you handled this situation. You told the truth and stuck to it, and now that you know you can't trust any of these people, you're cutting off contact with a person they're trying to make sure is an abusive arsehole, specifically towards you. It is the right and only safe thing to do. Show this to your mother. She should be ashamed of herself. Ask her this: if he has to be physical with you, and you're so shocked by the question that you mutter, yeah right, and get out of there, is she going to force you to be handed over to be sexually assaulted too? Because they taught him to look at your body and see things he can take. Also ask your mother how that poor girl is supposed to feel when she tries to give her a necklace that is clearly stolen from you. Since you have a history of wearing it, your mother and his mother apparently see all young girls as things for him to make feel like crap so he can feel good about himself. They're training him to be a monster instead of helping him to learn social skills. Edit 2, do not listen to any of this garbage about how you should control your speech perfectly and still caretake this guy. You're a growing kid too, with your own brain growth and development to get on with, and sarcasm and ironic inflection is part of getting that done at your age, as it is not having the same control over using it that an adult over 25 would have. If people want caretakers for him who would never use that kind of speech, they can hire people trained for it. Edit 3, from the sound of it, he did not have a meltdown due to autism in your living room. He had a temper tantrum because his mother trained him to believe he gets anything he wants if he throws a screaming fit. Temper tantrums are not meltdowns. Edit again, it was a real meltdown, OP says, see in a comment below. That makes this all the more heartbreaking for how the adults in the situation are screwing this boy over instead of helping him. Edit 5, this is a comment from OP showing that he was very clear when calm, and stealing from her was what he wanted to do. He's an arsehole. And edit 6, I can't believe there still needs saying, but people keep commenting that OP should contact Ben in whatever warm fuzzy way they can think of. No, she should not. Ben has proven he will turn random comment into, you owe me, I can compel you, and you have no choice, so it is not safe for OP to have any contact in any form with Ben at all. And OP replies to this one saying, you bring up some good points. I will ask my mother about some of the things you mention. He is insensitive sometimes, but I wouldn't go as far as calling him a monster. It was not a tantrum, it was really a meltdown. He already imagined how to ask her out, and when I refused, he got overwhelmed. Anyway guys, now I turn this one to you guys. What do you guys think of the situation? Did OP handle it right? How should she have dealt with it in the future? What about the parents? Do you think they were right in this situation? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 3. And our next story is from It's a Witch Thing. Would I be the arsehole for not going to my brother's wedding? So my brother, 26 male, and I, 22 female, used to be really close. We both struggled with having shitty, abusive parents, and we lent on each other for support. That was until we met Sarah. Sarah has changed him. He stopped hanging out with me, he stopped talking to me, now we barely talk. I'm certain that Sarah was responsible for the change. As a child I was really sick, having many different problems, including cancerous lump that was removed. Not a big deal, I recovered and I was too young to really understand most of it, but some of those issues carried into my adulthood. Sarah came up to me about a year ago and started discussing these problems with me, giving me advice that wasn't the least bit helpful and was only condescending. Sarah's good at this, she makes judgmental little comments all the time. The thing is, even my best friends don't know about these issues, I never talk about them. My brother has never been included in discussions about them, nor was my dad when I reached at a certain age. I only discuss this stuff with my mum. I can barely talk to doctors about it, and yet my brother told Sarah everything he knew. 2 years ago they got engaged. They told me by showing up at my work with all the family. They also had lunch at my work, and I had to watch our families have lunch together while I worked and couldn't join. I then found out it was only at my work because my dad forced him to tell me about the engagement before he posted it all over social media, which he initially wasn't going to do. He had intended me to find out with his Facebook friends, even though my parents and her family were all told personally. Fast forward to the start of this year, I had a mental breakdown in March and faced losing my flat. My brother stole a key and let himself and Sarah in so they could stand and judge me while I was struggling. He took pictures of me that ended up being used for blackmail, but that's a different story. I later found out that he tried to convince my mother to section me and have me committed to the mental hospital. Way to kick a girl when she's down. A couple of months ago I found out that Sarah's sister is the maid of honour, her brother is a witness, her cousins are singing, her parents are bell ringing, my mother is doing the flowers and my father is a priest who is conducting the ceremony. And I'm not included. I'm the only person in the family who isn't included in some way. That brings us to last night. I found a wedding invitation in my mother's kitchen. It turns out that the invites have been sent out, and I didn't get one. My brother seems to think that I don't deserve my own invitation. I also found that the dates he's chosen is the day before my birthday. So now my birthday will always be eclipsed by his wedding anniversary. Am I the arsehole for deciding not to go to the wedding? My mother said I was overreacting, and that he's my brother, and I should just be supportive. And OP put a comment on this one immediately after, which said, I only just remembered this small detail since some people have mentioned it. I'm technically not invited since I didn't receive an invitation, but they still expect me to go. Sarah even asked me to buy her £500 Louboutins as her wedding present. I did get Louboutins right, didn't I? Right? And we're going to head straight to the comments with this one because I want to know more about the whole blackmail thing as well. I think that would give some real context to this. Upper Potato 4894 says, it seems like he's doing everything he can to make you feel unwelcome. Why didn't you arrange to do something different for that day? So even if he asked you, you have a valid excuse. Sorry, I've got a weekend away scheduled with a friend. If it's affecting your mental health as much as it sounds, you have no reason to put yourself through this, and nobody wants you to bottle up your feelings only to explode and make a scene on the day. I'll seriously consider cutting off any toxic family members that put in this kind of shit. Not the arsehole, and good luck. OP replied to this saying, he used to be my favourite person. Even though this is going on, the thought of cutting him off completely breaks my heart. Eleanor of Aquitaine says, info, I think we need to revisit this blackmail. What the hell? Why would they just let themselves into your apartment? What were you doing that was so awful that it could be used for blackmail? Sounds like a big 180 for your brother. Are you quite sure there's nothing you've done to affect this change? This all sounds quite one-sided and doesn't really make sense. OP replies that the blackmail was from someone else. It was just pictures that he took and sent around that caused it. In the midst of my breakdown, I trashed the place and it was really bad and I wasn't looking after myself. He sent these pictures to his friend, who sent them to an ex-friend of mine, who I'd cut off after they owed me money and a bunch of other stuff. They attempted to use images of blackmail and then posted them over Facebook. It was a big 180 for him, but I don't know what I could have done that was bad enough for this. I'm an average annoying little sister, but other than that, I don't know. And this is an absolutely confusing story. The way the brother does a 180 and just turns on his little sister like that. Why? Is it because of the abusive relationship growing up that they lent on each other so much that now he needs to take a step back? Could that be one of the reasons why? Could it be the brother's partner manipulating him into disliking his sister now? Or is OP just not telling us something in this story that we don't know? It's a tough one, this one, but I'd love to know your opinion on this story. Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 4. Once again, guys, thank you for being here today. I hope you've been enjoying the stories over these past couple of weeks. I'm sorry I haven't been so chatty down in the comments below. A lot going on at the moment, I'm afraid. But as always, I am reading every single comment that comes up. Believe me, I am. Your positivity keeps me going, and I hope you have a great day ahead of you. Much love to you. Have a great day, and I will see you soon. Take care. Much love.